Africa, yeah. I want you to listen to it. Africa, yeah. Africa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Africans, my people. Africa, my continent too. Africa, yeah. Africa, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Today we bring you Youth Express from the African Regent Hotel in Accra on the topic projecting new frontiers in media and entertainment to sustain the African business. Our speakers for today, to help us dissect and share their experiences, are Bernard Avle of CTFM and Obrafour, a renowned musician.
Thanks for coming out today when we sent the invitation for the third edition of Role Model Africa. We believe that it was going to be another great interaction with great minds, and we are happy that you came to grace the occasion with your distinguished presence, because it's you that make this program worth it. And so thank you all for coming out in spite of the rains. I think we all deserve an applause for being here. My name is Dr. William Ochefrempo, and I would be your host for the key discussions. Personal delight to have you to interview, and I'm sure that for the audience who are here, there's a lot that is on their mind to find out about who Obrafour is, and I hope that the next few minutes that we have, we can do justice to that subject.
Thank you very much.
Right,
for
but
the
name Obrafour, where did it come from?
Okay. The name Obrafour comes from the palace. Actually, we know, as tradition demands, that a king or a chief should have somebody that protects him. And the Obrafour, as it is at the palace, not only guard the throne, but they do administer justice as well. So when I was coming into music, I was pondering names which I should choose. What it was, Hip Life had just started, and a lot of the elderly thought it was just an empty noise. So it required somebody in the caliber of the Obrafour to bring sanity into Hip Life, and I chose that.
So what you say that your stage name was a response to, if you like, the disorder that you found in
exactly
that was
so.
bringing in the circle of that
Exactly
music.
so.
Right, and anyone who's listened to your compilations, I mean, comes away with this conclusion that it's different from the others in respect of content. You don't find vulgar expressions. You don't find it really profane. This is street advice, this home-based folklore or wisdom that is being shared. I think that in Titiapa that you put together did so well, especially at the time when the then Vice President had launched his campaign on discipline. Your song, Obatain Nenimnia.
That's a song for mothers.
Nimabedie, Mama, Watiti Me Fifie, Obrafour. Well, all those have stood the test of time because of what drives you to do something that is in that light.
Okay, where do I start from? I think intuitively, as a young boy growing up, from my humble beginnings, I knew how to address people and how to be humble. And so, coming from a strong religious background as well, it was quite easy for me to deal with anything in that nature. As in, when I'm talking to people, I know that I have to be humble But despite the fact that I knew I had to be humble, there was one thing that was planted in me from childhood. My mom instilled that discipline in me to always speak the truth. So yes, it was a challenge for me as to coming into a genre as we describe as something worldly. It was difficult because as a child growing up, I was a church boy.
Obrafour.
Yes, a church boy. My mom was an Adventist. She's no more. And so we grew up in the church.
Adventists have powerful hymns and...
Exactly. And I think that is what made me. So coming into hip life, I couldn't do anything different from what I'm doing now, because I realized I would make my mom happy, even though she's not there, by executing those positive lyrics.
So you
that I
entered the news space, but you kept you were true to who you were.
Myself, yeah.
You maintained your character, but influenced the new space and also tried to influence that space with who you were. That's wonderful. How have you? What's the secret? How have you maintained your relevance over nearly 2 decades of doing music? You play an old Obrafour track, and it's almost as contemporary as anyone that you pick from. But then there are some of them, from other sources that when you play, you date yourself. It's almost like this style is not in vogue any longer. It's not trendy. But Obrafour seems almost like fresh palm wine.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, there's one thing I know, and it's been a part of me, that I believe I have faith. I believe strongly in God. And so with that in mind, and there's a quotation in the Bible that I've ascribed to, and it is my motto, actually. It is Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Well, when you have the rap priest give a primary verse, you have to put your hands together. So Obrafour's driving verse is what? Philippians 4:13, and that says, I can do all things.
One thing that you always have to have is self-belief. Believing him. I know that at any point in time, when I compose and put it out there, it will catch fire. There's not a single day that I have doubted myself, not at all. So yeah, that is the drive.
Would you encourage your child today, if they wanted to get into music career, would you encourage them to do that?
Well, my understanding of things as they happen, as we all here for a purpose. We all came on earth for a purpose, and therefore I would rather guide my child and let her or he because I have 3 daughters, so I'm speaking for them. I would rather guide them to grow up and decide what they want to do for themselves rather than imposing something on them.
But you don't think that music runs in
well, if it's in the gene and
Abedipele has football running through his...
Yes, but it's not always the case where a father sings and a daughter or the child will sing. So this is what I believe. I have to guide them the right way. When they grow up and they decide if they want to sing, fine.
Are you happy about the music industry in Ghana today?
Well, I would say yes and no. Let me begin with the no. I am not happy because I think this is it is not a secret. Everybody knows my stance when it comes to comes to the content in our music, I get alarmed most times because some of the songs, it's quite horrible. You cannot listen to those songs with your children. And that's my fear. I think the content, we haven't really paid attention to the things we say in our songs, and it's getting disturbing. It's alarmingly disturbing. Nowadays, I think the beats rather drive the songs rather than the content.
Was it DJ man beats na mfenye rap?
Yes. Rather than the content. Yes, I think we're making strides. For now, I think we all know that we get BET nominations, mobile, and all that. We're going places. I think that I'm happy about it. And then young guys who are coming. What it is, I know we don't have the right structures to market our songs. I mean, for me, we don't have an industry. But the young
We don't
ones,
have a music industry?
Yes, we don't.
Why do you say so?
I say this because I know as an industry should have a regulatory body that makes rules and is binding. We don't have anything of that sort. We don't have marketing structures. We don't have even proper record labels. No distribution distribution points where we distribute our music. And so it will be difficult if you tell me there's an industry here. What we do is individual
Brilliance and efforts.
Efforts, yes. Because now guys go spend money to record their songs, and what they do is they put it out there on the social media for people to download freely, because they think with that, when the song become a hit, they can get shows to play. Now, people don't buy CDs anymore. So you do songs, yes, you give it out freely.
If you are part of that generation, just give me a wave. YouTube downloaders.
Yes. So
they're killing the market.
Exactly so. But with the digitization of music, I think some of us who know what to do have employed people who have the know-how to put the songs at channels where we can get paid. So I think that's the only good thing.
Now, let's go back to how all of this began for you. Did the young Michael Ochidaku growing up ever envisage that you were going to be this giant music legend? Did you have dreams of becoming a musician? When did all of this begin for you?
Thank you. It never occurred to me that I would become a musician.
An Obrafour?
Never, ever. It never crossed my mind as at the time growing up. I know I used to sing with my mother at church, but to take music professionally and as a career never ever crossed my mind. What I aspired to do as at that time, I wanted to take after my grandfather, who was a lawyer. I think that perception has changed with time.
well. So here you are, Obrafour no peso ye emranim for.
But that has changed. Friends that pushed me to go for the mic, as he had finished rapping, they pushed me to go and take the mic, and I did. And believe you me, what happened there, I cannot get it out of my mind till date.
What happened?
I was carried.
Oh, that was when you were crowned.
You know, after rapping, everybody they all came to me and carried me high. So that was when I realized, okay, I could do this. But it was not until I met Hammer. A friend of mine who was in school with Hammer.
And who is Hammer?
Hammer is, guys, you know Hammer. Hammer of the Last Two is a producer who produced the first album, Paimuka.
Okay.
Yes, the last two. That friend took me to Hammer, and I remember vividly my first encounter with Hammer. He was drumming on a table, and he asked me to rap.
Table?
Yes, just like the table here.
So that was your first,
yes,
if you like, studio experience.
And Hammer asked me to rap. So midway in the rap, I think I had done about 8 or 12 bars, and he asked me to stop. And he said something that has lived with me till now. He said, "Stop. You are the guy that would give Reggie Rockstone a challenge." Wow. So imagine, as a young and by then I thought I wouldn't even qualify to call myself an underground artist. Somebody who was a novice. This guy tells me I am the guy that was going to give the Godfather a challenge, and imagine what that did to me. And so that was the story.
Okay.
That was how it all started.
So
from that point,
from the loss,
I don't know, for some reason I had believed in Hammer. I don't know. He had not yet produced any material as at that time. But I had believed in him, and I told him I want him to record my album, because a friend of mine had promised.
At that stage, Hammer too was a Quatrequa.
Yes, it was a Quatrequa.
But you had faith in him.
Yes, for some reason, I don't know. I had faith in Hammer. A friend of mine had promised financing my project, the Paimuka album. So I took Hammer to him.
How many albums since Paimuka have you released now?
Well, 6. I think my 7th. My 7th is about to.
Oh, there's one in the oven.
Yes,
Folks,
we have Obrafour.
We have one in the oven. Obrafour by Obrafour.
Yeah, Obrafour. I already have about 7 singles out now, but the album is made up of about 14 songs on that album. Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Let's the Role Model Africa audience know when it's being launched, and we'll be there to support. Folks, you're still with us at the African Regents Hotel, listening to Obrafour, the original Ghana rap software, in our corporate dialogue session, boring into his life and extracting some vital lessons that those of us who may not necessarily be in the media can find, because these are life lessons that are relevant across board. You can tweet this event, the hashtag is Role Model Africa, and or Leaders GH. You'll find the handle at Invents GH and also at Leaders GH. Any of those two handles on Twitter would be very useful. If you're on Facebook, just use the hashtag, and then you join the community with the feed. So, which of your albums, in terms of, there's some things that you do that they just bring you to people's attention, but there are some that bring the the money. Which of the 6 that you've done so far was the biggest hit?
Well, I would say Paibuka, the first one. Well, they say first catch is the deepest. So, I think what drove that was the hunger, the hunger to excel.
But would you also not say that at that time, many more people would buy than have access to do copying?
Well,
are people still buying?
There are
labels?
a few people that anytime they release, people would go and buy their CDs because they know what they are worth, and they know that definitely those artists won't. They know that those artists won't disappoint. So yes, there are a few of us who will release an album, and we know definitely people will buy. But as I was saying, Paimuka brought me the fame, but it didn't bring me money. And I wasn't even looking for money as at that time. As a young guy coming up, I wanted to be successful, and it did that for me. And so it was the next album, which is Semsebe, that the box started coming. Yeah.
Would you say Obrafour is wealthy?
I am content.
If you were about launching your music career at this time,
yeah,
given what you know, is there anything you'd have done differently?
Well, you see, I don't like living with regrets. That is one thing. I think life as it is too short for anybody to live with regrets. Nobody said it would be easy. Nobody ever said it would be easy.
I want to ask what is on my heart. So we would give you the opportunity to do just that.
We're talking to young people. We have talked about passion and profession. What is the place for practice? Is there internship opportunity for them? Is there space for volunteerism for them? Or do they just go to the markets? And to you, what is the place for women, for girls, because they want to also do reggae or rap or whatever? So how do you mentor these ones? Thank you.
Gospel music and secular music, what's the difference?
All right, thank
second
you.
one is
thank you.
I mean, this is the first time I'm meeting Obrafour. Let me talk. So, I want you to tell me, what kind of drive do you put in a song that's so energetic? 20 years back, sitting your song is still refreshing.
All right.
I'll say that anybody who wants to get into music, first, is self-believe. If you believe and hard work, and then you leave the rest to God, provided you believe in God.
What makes your heart beat?
My drive, like I said earlier, has always been to influence people positively. Anytime I sit behind a paper to write, I ask myself, what kind of music, what kind of songs do you think people want to hear?
Beef with this person, have beef with that person, creating continuous mess in the airwaves. I want to know from Obrafour, because some time ago we heard about him and someone else. How do we sanitize the music space?
What kind of investments did you make when you started?
Thank you very much,
sacrifice you made?
Supposing you are the president of Musica, can you please tell us 3 critical things you would look at?
One would have to try and unite our front. And it is something that I would always seek, to unite each and every one of us.
What will be the second?
2, as I'm saying, Musica is an association, what it is. As an association, I don't know if they have any legal powers or to make things binding on us. I don't know, but I'll find out. To me, I believe there are so many problems in this industry. Just as I said, there is nothing like an industry. I will try my best. See if I can
put in structures.
Yes, organize people who have the know-how to put in structures for the industry.
All right, let's have Joseph's beef and mutton question.
Beef thrive.
Oh, so it's artificial. It's created to drive the...
Yes, my beef with Lord Kenya and who? Is it Ochami Kwame, as they say? Ochami Kwame, there was nothing like a beef.
Oh,
it was,
okay.
Yes.
It was just pork.
Well, I think with Ochami's case, he took things out of context, and he decided to come at me. But what it was, I realized that we are pioneers, we are big boys, so I should go to him and plead with him to forgive whatever it is, to let it go so that we can come back as friends, as we all know. So Kwame's beef is quashed. It was helping sales as at that time, because everybody would wait for Obrafour to drop an album and they would go and listen to it and find out if I had
responded
thrown
to
shots at him, and it was vice versa.
Okay. What's the greatest lesson that you've learned?
Greatest lesson. Well, one, I know one has to sacrifice a lot if you really want to achieve anything. Yes, you have to sacrifice a lot.
Okay.
And lessons in this game tells me I should always be prayerful. I don't do freestyles because my style is not free.
Thank you.
What I can do right now is to give you an a cappella. That one.
All right, let's go. So please do.
All right. Cheer. No cran sign. No cran sign. You when you are now Kremuko, one in Tumuda. Ab, when you remember an affair, twatting Yadani, and this when you answer phone a year good. See, any money you need ferry. The year penny, dear, won't you at all say you? Obey you be more than 6 money and penny favor. Touch my dead, and what's up, and I want to that. When you're mere chitty for no put the money here. If you say one you name said that you'll be a contact. And so trust them now, so flashing in Nika. You book on Sony anointing or your GTC. Say, I mean, my Peter actually was I idea to share. It's about the same as all manage the consultation number. Yes, Christ tobacco. So control the tobacco, a ban and Tiasini Chimua, that be where they differ. What when you mean for any big
Well, on behalf of the Inlets team, we say a big thank you to our senior brother and role model, Obrafour, for gracing the occasion. And thanks to you all for your kind attention. We wish you the very best in the launch of your new album.